Hey everyone, it's Alan. And today I want to share you a very personal story. My journey from being a complete failing Amazon seller to actually making a 7-figure consistent passive income from my businesses. Now, this isn't a fairy tale. It's full of mistakes, hard lessons, and real emotions. I'm not here to brag, but I want you to see the words of my experience. Because if you are struggling or feel like you are about to give up on Amazon, this is for you. Consider me as a friend who's just a few steps ahead of you on this path, reaching back to you and telling you, come on, you can make it too. Now, let me take you back to when I first started selling on Amazon. I was full of excitement and big dreams. I had seen all those videos about people making 6, 7 figures, 8 figures passive income while sipping coffee on the beach. I'm pretty sure that you've seen stuff like that too. And I thought, why not me? I scrapped together some savings and invested into my first product. I remember the first day when my inventory went live on Amazon, I felt like the kid on Christmas morning. And I was very naively and think that I was just going to be expecting sales and profits just start to roll in. But spoiler alert, that didn't happen. Now, in those early days, I'll be completely honest here. I had no clue what I was doing. Now, I picked a product that I liked without really checking if anyone else wanted it. I didn't do a lot of product research, market research, keyword research properly, and my pricing was just a guess. And my listing, well, pretty mediocre in hindsight. But at that time, I was just so sure that it would take off. And I keep on refreshing my Seller Central app every single hour, like heart pounding, hoping to see a sales. And if you've done this, you know the mix of hope and anxiety I'm talking about, right? So after a few months of just losing money day after day, reality hit me like a trunk. Days just gone by, and then weeks, and then months. I did manage to get like a trickle of sales, but nowhere near enough to cover my cost. In fact, I was losing money every single day on every single sales that I make, and I have to pay like storage fees and a few clicks on my advertising with no purchases. I have to pay for that. And my small saving account is just draining, and I felt really embarrassed. Here I was just telling my friends and family like, oh, I'm starting an Amazon business. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And now I dreaded them asking like, hey, how's that business going? And my answer was always a painful, not great. It wasn't doing well. And my confidence took a hit. And I started to wonder like, am I just not cut out for this? Did I make a huge mistake? Did I make a huge mistake of giving up my school, giving up my college degree? And so I remember one night just sitting at my kitchen table, looking at my laptop full of negative and red numbers, and just almost just crying out of frustrations. It felt like I had failed, not just in the business, but myself. I was just this close to quitting. And I'll give you some real talk here as well. A lot of people do quit at this stage. I don't blame them because it is tough. The dream of passive income crashed hard into reality. But what went wrong? Now, looking back, nearly everything. Now, I rushed into a product without a plan, I ignored advice, or I didn't seek any to begin with. I thought a passive income would be easy, like setting up a product and watch money flow. I learned the hard way that passive doesn't mean no effort up front. It's more like the reward you get after you put in the work. At this point, I had a choice. Cut all my losses and just walk away, or swallow my pride, learn from my mistakes, and keep climbing back up and try again. After a lot of soul searching, I decided, okay, now let's give this one more real shot with everything I've got. If it fails again, then, well, let's decide what to do next. Now, the turning point came when I reached out for help. I humbled myself enough to say I don't know everything, and that's okay. I started watching more free webinars, YouTube tutorials, like the right kind, not the overly hyped ones. And I even joined multiple Facebook groups of Amazon sellers. And in that community, I found some mentors. Now, people who had been through the grind, just like what I was going through. And they eventually reached a successful Amazon business. Now, I want you to be very careful about the mentor and the gurus out there. You want to make sure that they are not scammers, not someone who only knows to flex supercars and luxury lifestyles with no knowledge to back up of what they are really talking about. Now, perhaps the biggest changes was in my mindset. I stopped thinking of Amazon as a lottery ticket and start treating it like a real business. That meant diving into the data and understanding my customers rather than hoping for a miracle. Now, I remember my mentor saying you have to serve the customer's need first, and then the money will come follow. Now, that stuck with me. I shifted from what product can make me money fast to what do people need or want, and how can I provide that better than all my other competitors out there. And I also confronted a tough personal truth as well. I was afraid of failure to the point that I wasn't truly trying. It's like I held back on doing all the necessary work, deep research, spending on quality improvements, because if I did give it all and still failed, that would hurt even more. So realizing that was an eye-opening. So I told myself, all right, if I fail, it's not because of lack of effort. Now, business is all about mindset, and this mindset shift, accepting possible failures but committing to doing everything in my power to succeed, was a lot more liberating. It was like a weight off my shoulders. So suddenly, failing wasn't as scary as me anymore. It just means that there were problems to solve on my way to success. So after arming with a lot of new knowledges and a fresh mindset, I effectively started over. I went back to the drawing board on product research. Now, this time, I spent weeks on doing research. I looked for a product niche that had solid demand but wasn't oversaturated with established competitors. I read countless of reviews on similar products to pinpoint what customers liked and hated. So if you are currently doing product research and developing your own USP, those reviews are really important. They will say things like, okay, I wish this were more durable, or like the instructions were just confusing. Each complaint was an opportunity. I aim to source a product that directly addresses those gaps. And my point is to aim and try to directly address those gaps by manufacturing and develop something that is unique. So when I relaunched my business, I optimized for everything. Like, I invested in professional product photography, and wow, did that make a difference. Now, also, I wrote my listing emphasizing on how my product solved the exact problem customers mentioned in the other products reviews. Basically, I was telling the shoppers, okay, hey, I've listened to what you want, and here it is. Here's a better product that fits all your needs. I also set a competitive price point because I am not trying to get rich on each sales right now. I am just wanting to entice people to give a new seller like me with no reviews a chance to try out my products and give honest reviews. I also put aside a small budget for my PPC as well, just to make sure that I showed up for all my relevant searches. And this time, I monitored those ads like a hawk, ready to adjust if they ate too much of my money without any results. Now, the honest result is that it wasn't like flipping a switch. I didn't go from zero to thousands of dollars overnight, but I did notice a change. In the first weeks, I made a handful of sales, like real sales to strangers, and not just like supportive friends buying from me. And yes, I did have a couple of them in the beginning. So I remember the first 5-star reviews I got on my new product, and the customer wrote like a paragraph and images talking about how the product was exactly what they needed and better than all the other ones that they had tried. And by reading them, like, I felt really happy. I practically just jumped out of my chair with joy, like, because that one review felt like a validation. Like, yes, I am on the right track. I am making a product that improved my customer's life. And from there, I just kept on going. Like, I stayed engaged with my customers. I answered the questions promptly and kept an eye on my stock and pricing. And I was just cautious not to scale too fast as well, like, because I've learned my lesson not to assume success too early. Now, instead, I strategically reinvested all my profits back into the business. When I had a decent thing ongoing with one product, I added another product that complements it. So basically, it's like a cross-selling or like a bundle that further expanded my product category and my profit as well. Now, the payoff is that I was able to build a consistent passive income. Now, fast forward to now, it's been years since I hit that low point, but I won't pretend that everything is perfect. I still have challenges and slow season currently, but here is the differences. I now have a sustainable Amazon business that generates consistent income month after month without me having to work on it right now. I basically spend around like 4 hours per week on my Amazon business. But when I'm talking about the passive income here, I mean I am not trading hours for dollars in a strict sense, because once the product are launched and the system are in place, the sales come in even though I am not actively working every second. But I still need to manage the business as well, restocking inventory, handle the occasional customers' emails, and I have to watch the market and watch how my competitors are currently doing. But I can do that on my own schedule right now, from anywhere, anytime. Now, last summer, I actually took 2 weeks off vacations. I literally watched sales and the payoff roll in while I was on the beach. Now, that felt amazing, not because of the money itself, but because it was a proof of machine that I had built, and the early grind was paying off. So emotionally, the journey changed me. I went from feeling a failure to feeling confident and in control. I learned to trust myself because I knew if I could come back from that rough start, I could handle whatever that comes next. And the best part is that I am now able to help people as well. Friends started asking me for advice on entrepreneurship, on Amazon, on selling online. And I found that I love coaching others through their hurdles as well, which is part of why I'm making this video. It is incredibly fulfilling to see someone else avoid a mistake that I made because I shared my story here. So the key takeaway is that I want to wrap up by highlighting a few key lessons that I've learned, whether you are a new Amazon seller or you have been at it for a while and you feel stuck. And I hope these lessons resonate with you. So number one is that failure is a teacher, not the end. Now, I know that this sounds cliche, but it is true. Like, I felt hard at first. I wasn't making money until the 3rd year of my entrepreneurial journey. But if I had walked away then, I would have zero chance of success. So by treating each failure as a lesson, as painful as it was, I was able to come back smarter. And every successful seller I know has a story of something going horribly wrong, but then they succeeded anyway by learning and adjusting. So you can do it too. So do your homework and add real value to your customers. My passive income didn't start until I put real effort into understanding my market and improving my product. Don't skip this work. You want to do your research. You want to do your quality control, good customer service. That's the foundation that passive income is built on. If you give the market something better, even if it is just a little bit better than what is currently out there, customers will reward you. And I want to tell you something. Mindset matters a lot in this business, in any entrepreneurial business actually. So there was a moment when things changed and it all started in my head. When I shifted from a get rich quick mindset to a growth mindset, I became much more resilient. I accepted that I didn't know everything and that I might fail again. And that was okay, because ironically, once I truly accepted the possibility of failure, it lost its power over me. I worked smarter and harder, and success just followed. So keep your mindset positive and realistic, hopeful, but ready to tackle the problems. You know, it's like being your own coach. Pat yourself on the back for wins, but also punch yourself to improve. Now, I couldn't have done this alone, and you don't have to either. So find a mentor, a community, or even a reliable YouTube channels. Like, hopefully you consider this as one of them, to learn from other people's experience, but also filter that advice through your own situations. Not every tip out there will apply to your product or your life. So take in all the knowledge you can, then craft your own strategy that feels right for you. It is your journey overall. Consistency is the passive income secret. So the phrase passive income is just alluring, I know. In reality, the income becomes relatively passive after a lot of consistent upfront work. Now for me, the consistency was the key. I worked on my Amazon business a bit every single day, even if it was just like 30 days of tweaking keywords or answering the customers' questions. It's like tending a garden, like a little effort each day, and eventually you reap a harvest. So stick with it consistently, and one day you'll realize, hey, I'm making money even on days that I'm not logging in at all, and that is an awesome feeling. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. I opened up about the good, the bads, and the uglies because I want you to see that failure is not final. I went from nearly giving up on building something that I'm really, really proud of, and if I, just an ordinary person with no special advantage, could do it, there's no reason why you can't do the same as well. So maybe you're in the middle of your own struggles right now. Maybe you have launched product and it flopped, or you're overwhelmed by everything you have to learn. I get it. I have felt that knot in my stomach, the fear that I wasn't wasting time and money, but I hope my journey shows you that where you are right now isn't where you are going to end up with. This could be just the first act of your success story. Now, I know this journey wasn't easy, and if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, I totally get it. It was because I was in your shoes. That is why I started offering a one-on-one coaching for Amazon sellers who want real, honest help to build a consistent income stream. Now, my coaching isn't just a magic bullet, right? It is a chance to get personalized advice and clear strategies from someone who's been through the ups and downs. So if you feel like you need that extra support, check out the link in the description. There's no pressure, just an opportunity to learn and grow faster. Sometimes a little guidance can make all the differences and save you years of trials and errors and potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars saved. Now, remember, every big success stories has a chapter of challenges and doubts, and those chapters makes the success part so much sweeter. So use your setback as fuel. Use them to pinpoint what to do better, to motivate you to try one more time in a smarter way, and celebrate the small wins along the way as well. Each new sales, each good reviews, each time you figured out something out, those are building blocks of your passive income machine. So I truly believe you can create the Amazon business and the lifestyle you dream of as long as you keep learning and keep going, I am rooting for you. If my story helped you or inspired you, let me know. Drop a comment about where you are currently in your journey. I would love to hear it and maybe offer some encouragement as well. We're all in this together, learning and improving one day at a time. Remember, the only difference between a failing seller and a successful one is the successful one didn't quit. So keep hustling, keep your heads up, and who knows, a year from now, you might be the one telling your successful story. So you got this, and I will see you there. Bye-bye.